best part of the day in many ways, because we're just going to celebrate really the people who've enabled us to be here today. And I want to just say it's a huge honor to work with all you TechTrek campers coming up. And we congratulate you wholeheartedly. It's an achievement just getting through the registration process, isn't it, Mary? So we have 4 schools, and we have from Earl Warren. I'm just going to do first names. It's a bit easier. From Earl Warren Middle School at Solana Beach, we've got Carla and McKenna, Ellie, Julia, and Lindsay. And congratulations to you all and your wonderful teachers who supported you. From Carmel Valley Middle School, we've got Masha, Sanjini, Mathilde, and Yunying. And wonderful school, lots of opportunities there. For Pacific Trails Middle School, we've got a Anjani, Amit, Sophia, Addison, Isabel, Alfina, Kailani, Iris, Punaditha, Ria, and Roa, Asaman, and Chloe Wang. Some of these girls in all of these groups are actually girls from last year. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. And you know that last year we couldn't go ahead because of COVID. And thankfully this year, we were able to include all of the girls from last year, as well as bringing additional girls on for 2021. So that means that this year, we've actually got 29 girls going to camp, the highest ever number we've been able to do. And not forgetting Degania Middle School, we have Shuri, Skylin, Alessandra, Isabel, and Scarlett. And I wish you congratulations. It's a real achievement, and I know that you are going to have an absolutely fabulous time. Some people can feel a bit disappointed because they didn't go to UCSD for the camp. But I'm here to tell you, you can still go, because once you've been to TechTrek camp and you've implemented and done everything that you should in the camp, you become eligible in 2 years to become a counselor at the camp. And then you'll be able to go to the university, live in with the girls, be a build coach, a social coach. And I know Nayali, who's going to talk a bit later, is coaching this year, and one of our previous TechTrek campers as well. So I think there's some others as well. So you're going to be a really great team to be able to have both virtual experience and a virtual experience as well as a university experience. Now to move on, really, if you read this slide on the right, it says everything. We really sincerely thank our donors. Without our donors, this would not be happening at no charge to the girls. And we'd be building cakes and having bake sales and cake sales and washing cars, and really trying to get all the money together to send all of you girls to this camp. And these donors very generously donate money, and through that money, and also through other donations by the AAUW to the TechTrek Fund, we're able to provide this at absolutely no cost to you. And I think we all sincerely thank our donors. Well, I'd like to share now with Dr. Mimi Isaac, and she's got heaps of degrees. And but really what I see in Mary is someone who's absolutely dedicated to women in science. She's a real driving force behind the TechTrek program, director of the UCSD camp, director of the virtual camp, and she's really a stellar person to have on our side. So if you can take over, Mary, and talk, that would be great.
If you could give up the screen, I would be happy to do that.
Oh, no, I don't want to give it up.
Yeah. Ah, let's see. Which one do I want? Hmm. Okay. Thank you so much for inviting me here just to talk about the virtual program. I am not going to do a detailed introduction to myself because you're going to hear plenty from me at the camp. And so you'll hear my story along with a number of other women that will be involved in the camp. We have right now about 625 campers registered for the 3 camps. We have over 200 coaches, and this is all on a voluntary basis between many T-Tag girls and also branch members. We have over 200 coaches that have signed up to help us. This camp was piloted last year. I think Ria participated last year. A couple of your girls also participated as coaches last year and are coming back as coaches again this year. I think Caitlin, was she one of yours? Um, there's a few of them. So we are, you know, this is all about community. And I was listening to what Romy was saying and what Linda was saying too. And it's really having women around you, girls around you that feel the same way about science and technology and solving problems. That's what it's all about. And that's what's going to get you through. So here I am at the end of my career, 66 years old, on an awesome pension. And it's because I was an engineer. 4-year degree. That's it. That's all I needed to get through it. So you too can do this. And oh, by the way, I wasn't an A student. So keep that in mind. I was not an A student. So let's talk a little. This is the schedule. This is a preliminary of the schedule. It's pretty locked and loaded right now. Um, it is going to be, it could be a long day if you take everything, but it's no longer, in fact, you get to sleep in your own bed at night. That's the nice thing about it in many respects, because what happens at camp, when you go to camp, you are so exhausted by the end of the week because you stayed up late every night and got up early every morning. You won't have to do that. You start at 9, you wrap at 12, take a break for lunch, you come back for a mandatory hearing inspiration hour. And that's where you get to hear people like Romy and other women who are out there professionally in the world as scientists and technologists and using their math and engineering design process skills. You're going to get to hear them talk about how they got started, what they think is important to you, because everybody gets started a different way. I didn't know I wanted to be an engineer until I was out of school. That's pretty late, but in retrospect, I had a lot of hints. I just wasn't able to act on them until much later. So you're going to have an inspiration hour. There's a 90-minute workshop right after that inspiration hour. You'll get to talk for 15 or 20 minutes about the speaker and do a little debriefing and ask questions, just talk about the topic that the speakers were talking about. And then you'll have the option, and you've already signed up for it, to do a second workshop. And so I'm here to tell you, you all have access, I think, still to your link that was originally sent to you. If you decide during this discussion, hey, I think I want to take that workshop. I didn't sign up for it, but I think I want to take it. You can go back in and edit your your registration form and select that different workshop. So I'm sharing that with you now. But once I've ordered the parts, you can't do it. You're not going to be able to do it after registration. So do it now or forever hold your peace. And then we break for dinner. and come back at 7 to 8:30. I think it said 7 to 9:30 for some of the uh, in the registration form, but 7 to 8:30, another 90-minute session of workshops. And all of these will be done in a group session like this, but then we'll also go into breakouts. So we will be spending most of our time in breakout groups of smaller 6 to 10 people, working through problems, working through whatever it is that we have to do. In the morning, this core class, this robotics class, is a project-based learning session. So you are going to build every day. You're going to build, design and build a creation, and it's going to incorporate your strengths, interests, and values, which you are going to explore a little bit. And it's also going to incorporate something I'm going to show you on the next page. Sustainable development goals. So we were talking about climate warming a little bit earlier. Look that up. Google sustainable development goals. And I'll show you a picture of what they are. But each of the breakout groups for this core group will have an opportunity to select what their sustainable development goal is that they're going to tie into their creation. So you're going to have an opportunity to really be very creative in what you're going to build. And if we go on here, these are the sustainable development goals. So you as a team and your other team members in that core group will pick one of these goals, and everybody will make sure that this is incorporated into their design. And each team can pick many. We're probably going to have in each camp somewhere between 25 and 35 different breakout groups. So you may all have the same one. I doubt it, but it's possible that you would all have the same one. These are the actual workshops that we, and this was what was in your registration form, but you don't get a whole lot of description in there. So I thought I would share just a little bit that we're going to go into. So the ones that are in the left-handed column, those are mandatory. Everybody will take those. Everybody will participate in those. So by 3 o'clock, this is 3:15, you'll be wrapped with this one. If you've got other things to do and for whatever reason you can't join us for the next session, then you move on. If you want to come back for the evening session, you can come back for the evening session. These will be all different groups than what you met with in the morning. So since everybody is not necessarily all taking the same workshops after that first one, you may be put in a workshop breakout group with totally different people. So you'll have an opportunity each day to meet some new girls, some new campers, some people that you maybe did not meet before, and you'll get to share a little bit about yourself with them. I'm looking at the magic of paper. It's an origami. You're going to do some origami there. You're going to see, and I encourage some of you to do a little bit of exploration on what they're doing now with honeycombing and with paper and using it for packing materials and for insulation. There are so many things that you have no idea of the power or the capability of paper. And it sounds like a simple thing, but it's going to be some great concepts you're going to learn. Blowing in the wind, building your own wind turbine with materials that you have at home and some materials that we send you. And this is something that will teach you and reinforce the whole engineering design process. Extremely important things for you to be able to do. The lights, waves, and plasma. And by the way, that engineering design process, you can apply that in real life. Right? You can do it as you're making a decision. Think of it as a decision-making process. You're trying to solve a problem. How do I want to move to a new job? Do I want to go take this particular course? You can use that design process and solve problems that way too. So all of these, math is on the menu. Somebody said, what is that all about? Well, what do you think it's about?